Welcome back to The Gloves Are Off. We're going to talk Oilers now. Now, we talk about Oilers quite a bit here, but I think there's reason to talk about them because they got off to such a hot start. And now they're playing average hockey, I would say. Now, is this kind of what you expected? No, I'm going to start with you, Mike. Is this what you expected of the year? I know that you follow the Oilers quite closely. Now, what are your thoughts on their season thus far?
Well, if you looked at Howie Boolin's numbers early on, you knew he couldn't keep it up. And the goals haven't been incredible right now. So yeah, it was expected that they were kind of going to slow it off. I'm happy they got the hot start because it banked points for later in the season. But they're still playing good hockey. They're a young team, so they have one game like against Chicago where they win 9-2, and then they'll lose 5-1 the next game.
It's, the inconsistent struggles of a young hockey team, right? You get them clicking one night and then the next. What do you think, Brian?
Well, I think everybody in Oilerland should be extremely unhappy right now.
Absolutely.
People can say, are they tailing up? Well, yeah, they got off to a great start. Howie Boolin played great. Their defense were overachieving to the max, to me. And you know what? They were playing with such confidence. They were this young stud team that was going to come out. And Oiler fans, just in my opinion, I would be extremely happy for the future of this organization. I don't know if they're destined for the playoffs this year or not. But at the end of the day, I think you're going to see one of the most exciting hockey teams in the years to come. With some of the the Everleys and the Halls and the Nugent. Like if you looked at the one goal, you take a look at an 18-year-old Nugent Hopkins absolutely destroy that guy on the wall one-on-one, and then makes a great play. And and then you got Everly not once but twice and goes top shelf on the guy. Quick hands, quick release. That's exciting, but I think they've got some more pieces of their puzzle that they need to get fixed before they're a contender.
The blue line needs some work, and they're banged up on the blue as well. So it's actually, I'm still impressed, even though they're playing average hockey. They're so hurt and thin on the blue, but they're still putting up wins and competitive virtually every night.
Yeah, they got outplayed badly last night. Nashville, there's the difference though right there. Nashville came out last night, and not shots, just the way they played the game. They out-battled them. And yes, they're banged up and everything, but you know what? We all run into that as coaches, and I'll guarantee you their coach is not using that as an excuse, because that gives an opportunity for a young player to come up from the American Hockey League to perform and have his chance. And you know what? It does make a difference, because I've never really liked I like 3 or 4 of the defensemen on Edmonton.
Yeah.
But anyone, they brought up, they need to improve that area.
Oh, absolutely, and everyone will tell you the exact same thing. Mike, does this team?
I still see them in the playoffs.
Really?
Yes. I can't see Minnesota keeping where they're at right now.
Okay, but there's still a lot of other strong teams in the West.
But for the battle, I know Vancouver's picking it up again now, and they will most likely win the.
It's because they got Luongo out of the net.
Yeah, Schneider in the last 5 games. I just can't see the teams above them right now. There's a lot of teams that I expected to be in the playoffs that are not right now, and ones that I thought would not be in that are in, that I think will drop out by the end of the season.
Early in the season, we'll see. I personally don't see it happening, but you never know. Which leads to our next segment. Surprises. What other surprises in the NHL, whether it be a team or player, like you have the Maple Leafs who are second in the East right now, I don't think many people saw that, or Florida, who's third. And this is a team that had to spend money just so they could hit the basement cap over the offseason. Now they're in third place. Or you have Phil Kessel, who's leading the league in points. Chris Versteeg's right up there, and he's never even been a point-per-game player. How about you, Brian?
Well, I'm going to give it to Toronto right now, but I think Ron Wilson had to. This was the final straw for him. If they didn't have a good start, he was fired.
You think so?
He had to be. I mean, they're very close. The GM and him are very close, and he stood with Ron, and Ron's a great coach from everything I've ever heard from the behind the scenes, from connections of mine. He's a very, very good coach, and this was his year. Kessel, you know what? I think Kessel just grew up. I think it's time for him to grow up. He pouted a lot last year, stick slamming. His body language was horrible, and he is such a premier player that he's having fun right now. Toronto made some good acquisitions. They've done some good things. I'm very happy for Toronto. I hope they can continue this, and that's the biggest surprise for me, for sure. Toronto Maple Leafs.
Haven't made the playoffs since the lockout. I'll kind of give you some perspective. It's incredible because they can, they have.
They'll tail off though.
Yeah,
they'll tail off. But I think they've, for Ron and that team, I wish the best of success, because he does do his due diligence, Ron Wilson, and he's a good coach.
I have 2. I have Lupul and Kessel. that combo, and then Fleischmann and Versteeg in Florida.
Yeah.
Who would think that all 4 of those players would be over a point per game right now? It's crazy.
No one.
Like, I know Florida threw out a lot of cash, but a lot of people were thinking that they're all washed up players, and yeah, they've proven that they can do it. So
it's the risk you take when you just sign a bunch of free agents. You don't know how they're going to gel, I suppose, as opposed to drafting within and developing players. But it's working right now.
The funniest thing about it is, real quick, the funny thing about it is all the players know about all the players.
yeah.
I mean, so when they talk about gelling, there's a lot of work that goes behind, and they know what player's a bad apple and what one's not, and will he fit into the locker room? They know all of that stuff.
Okay.
So most times when they make their moves, they know what they're doing.
Well, interesting. That's all the time we have for Dump and Change. Stay tuned. We have Over Under coming up after the break.
That's